Okay, hello everybody, it's RFPD How are you guys doing today? Today I thought I'd make an informative video about the different types, a couple of different weapon types out there. There are a wide variety that are not discussed in here. Now, I am not an weapon expert, however, have read books and done a lot of research on weapons since I was little. We used to have a big book of weapons throughout the history at my school's library. I always check it out and read up on it, how weapons work, how they fired, the different types, the history behind bullet calibers. Like, did you know that the 9mm Parabellum, the 9x19mm, and the 9mm Luger are all the same exact bullet, just named differently based on country of origin? So, and just like the .45 auto and the .45 ACP are actually the same bullet, they were just changed due to licensing dispute with NATO. I actually didn't know that. I thought there were two different grain types of .45 rounds, but no, they're actually the same exact. So you learn something new every day. So let's start off here with the oldest weapon known to man, a muzzleloader. Now, muzzleloaders are black powders. I have actually shot one before. I do not have the names for this type. This is a more modern muzzleloader. So what you do is you have your primer cap inside, safely sealed in here. You pour down your black powder into the barrel, perfectly measured, of course, and then you put your specialty bullet in there. Now, with these older models on the right, it uses a percussion cap. Now, these can also be used as blanks or put in shotgun rounds. They're very small, and I actually have a couple somewhere. But essentially, the same method is for the older muzzleloaders, though, with the ball rounds. What you do is you put the black powder in, you put the cotton in, and then you put the little ball in, and then you pack it down. You put the percussion cap on this little device right here. Okay, you cannot see my mouse on here. Sorry about that. But I'm talking about the lower right one. And with the percussion cap, it'll strike it, send off the flame that will ignite the black powder, which will cause the bullet to fire out. Now, these are very dangerous, but very accurate at the same time. But they're dangerous because if you put too much black powder in there, you can actually cause the gun barrel to explode. That was one of the biggest things they warned me about when shooting it is, I was very young, so we were not allowed to load the black powder. We were allowed to do everything else but load the black powder, because if we put too much, we could kill ourselves or severely hurt us and the people around us. So muzzleloaders are very dangerous compared to other guns. Next up, we have bolt action. Bolt action's been around for a while too. Now this here, I actually own both of these weapons. The top one is a Glenfield M50 12-gauge bolt action shotgun, and the one below is a Ranger Model 103-8 SLLR 22 long rifle and short rifle bolt action rifle. Now, there are bolt action shotguns out there, just like there are bolt action pistols. The Rail Rod, I should put a picture of that on there. That was actually a fully suppressed bolt action pistol. And then the Ranger, which I own, is a 22 long rifle bolt action. And bolt actions are pretty accurate, very easy to use. Simply, you lift up the bolt, pull it back, put your round in there, you close it, and then you can fire. Although with this model down here, again, sorry you can't see my mouse. Actually, I got a pointer. Okay, there we go. So this part right here is actually unique to my rifle. In order to fire it, once you pull it back and load the round into the breech, you actually have to pull it back, and this is the safety. This is the only safety method on this rifle, is you cannot fire it until you pull this little thing back. Now, some bolt action rifles, of course, does have magazines. Others don't. Bolt action, again, wide variety. Shotguns, pistols, rifles. Everything can be a bolt action. Next up, we just have a standard pump action. This is, again, I own this weapon. It's a Steven Savage Arms Model 820B. This is actually in better condition than what mine is. Mine's been in my family for a very, very, very long time. A standard pump action shotgun, how it works is you load the rounds through the bottom barrel here, and then as you pump it back, it has a little elevator that lifts the bullet up, and then as you pull it forward, making that iconic click sound that everybody fears, then it loads and pushes the bullet into place properly. So if you ever have a pump action shotgun that's not cycling the rounds properly, most likely it is the elevator lever in here. There's actually a spring back in here I had to actually find a replacement piece for and fix it. And that will allow the bullet to go up into the chamber and cycle properly. Next up, we have semi-automatic. Now, yes, there are also semi-automatic rifles, which this is technically a semi-automatic rifle, but you also have semi-automatic handguns, semi-automatic shotguns too. The SAS-12 is a good example of one. Let's see. One you would all be familiar with is actually the SPAS-12, which stands for Special Purpose Assault Shotgun or Special Purpose Sporting Shotgun. And essentially, what that shotgun is actually a hybrid between pump and semi. Semi-automatic mode in the SPAS-12 is strictly for your slugs, your buckshot, birdshot, and then the pump action is actually used for loading in beanie bag rounds, tear gas rounds, smoke grenade rounds, stuff like that. So, in actuality, I know like Modern Warfare and Call of Duty, one portrays it as semi-automatic, the other portrays it as a pump action. It's both. In this case here, we got the Glock 19, which is a semi-automatic pistol, and a Mossberg M151K. I actually do own this one, and what's unique about this rifle here is this is the magazine here. So what you do is you have your rifle here, you actually pull the back pin here, you put one bullet in through here, and then you kind of keep pushing it in. It can hold about 15 rounds, although ours can only hold 10 because after 10 it will start to jam up badly. I think I fixed it. I don't know if I did. Hopefully I did. I would love to go out and try shooting it again to see if I actually fixed it. But I own this. I don't own this one. I do own this one. Next up, we got Burstfire. Now, Burstfire, again, can come in both rifle and pistol form. I don't think there's any burst action shotguns. Let me know if I'm wrong. The B93R or the Beretta or the Benty from Cold War. This is basically the B93R. That's what it's based off of. This is a burst fire pistol, and what burst fire means is instead of firing one shot per trigger pool, it fires 3 shots per trigger pool. And the standard M16A1 is a burst fire only rifle. Now the M16A2, which I'll show you later, is actually a assault rifle. Now up here we have a semi-automatic tactical rifle. So this is the Bushmaster QR Tactical Semi-Auto Rifle, and this is the FAN SIG M400. This is what I have. This is a tactical rifle. It is not an assault rifle. Please keep in mind, it is not an assault rifle. And when we get to the assault rifles, you will see why. So this is basically a standard semi-automatic rifle, but what makes it a tactical rifle is this right here, the pistol grip. If any weapon has a pistol grip on it, it automatically becomes a tactical weapon. So such as my Ruger 1022 I own. It's a tactical rifle, not for the pistol grip, but for the pistol grip in the front. By adding that on there, I have made it a tactical rifle. And just like again with this one here, this pistol grip makes it a tactical rifle. Now, assault rifle, we have the Colt M16A2 Alpha 2. And what makes this a assault rifle is this right here. So, on the standard M16A1, the one I showed you a couple slides ago, it could only do safe and burst fire. Now, going back to the assault or the semi-automatic tactical rifle here, this only has one mode in it, and that one mode is semi-automatic, usually indicated by one bullet. So we go back here, or they'll say this. So an assault rifle has the ability to switch between more than one firing mode. So safety doesn't count. So if this just said semi-automatic or burst fire, it would be a tactical rifle because of the pistol grip, or a semi-automatic rifle. Now, since this goes from semi to burst fire, which is an additional firing mode, it automatically is now a assault rifle because it can switch between more than one firing mode. This is what makes it a assault rifle. If you cannot switch between more than one firing mode, excluding safety, then it is not an assault rifle. If it has a pistol grip, again, it's a tactical semi-automatic rifle. If it doesn't have a pistol grip, then it's just a semi-automatic rifle. So this is the key difference between a semi-rifle and a assault rifle. Next up, we have a breech loader. I tried to find a breech loader rifle like my grandmother has, but I just found a generic breech loading shotgun. These are also pretty old. You probably noticed one from Call of Duty Black Ops, the Olympian. What a breech loader is, and this is more common with double barrel shotguns too. And again, there are rifles out there. You have to expose the breech in order to load in 2 or 1 rounds, or sometimes multiple rounds, depending on what type of weapon you're using in the loading system. But a breech loader is you have to expose the breech in order to put 1 round in, at least 1 round in at a time. So again, double barrel shotguns are breech loaders, breech loading rifles, of course. Anything that breaks open and you have to put a single bullet in or multiple bullets, that is a breech loader. Now, Revolver. This is actually an interesting one. This is a Colt Model 1855 military revolving rifle. So there are revolving rifles. And, of course, you got your standard revolver here. This I actually shot. I don't own it no more. It was my grandfather's. It is a North American Arms 22 Magnum Derringer. Now, this one's the long rifle version, but the 22 Magnum version is actually very powerful. It's very tiny. I cannot stress this enough. It was like I was holding a little toy gun in my hand. That's how small it felt in my hand, in my big hands. But this actually has a unique loading method, and it's actually pretty dangerous. In order to reload this, just like with the 22 Magnum variant, you have to push this little button here, pull the pin out, pull the chamber out, and then load in 5 rounds. It can hold 6 rounds, but you want to put 5 in there, so that way, because you got to cock the hammer here back in order to put bullets into it. And again, that is very dangerous, because if you put 6 in there, you got a halfway cocked handle or hammer, and if you were to accidentally pull that trigger while trying to put the thing back in there, it can go off, and you can hurt yourself, you can hurt someone else, or you can lose a finger. I don't want to lose any of those, so I only shot it 1 time. It's like, nope, done. I don't feel safe with this thing. Now let's talk about the big boys. Light machine guns. This is the M60 Alpha 1, or A1. Now, light machine guns are a variant of fully automatic weapons, but they hold a heavier caliber, but at the same time, you can still pick it up, you can use it, you can mount it with the little bipod here. Typically, these are weapons of war, are definitely weapons of war, light machine guns, fully automatic. They could go through loads of rounds, and quite frankly, nobody should actually own one of these things. The only way you can actually legally own one of these as a civilian is if it's A, decommissioned, or B, you have a Class 3 weapons license. I do believe this classifies under a Class 3 weapon license, because it is a military weapon. And then up next, we have the heavy machine gun, or the HMG. These are what you see mounted on vehicles in video games, or little bunkers. You would also see these with bipods. You could carry them around, but you could not actually shoot one standing up. These typically use like .50 BMG rounds, or a very heavy round that you just could not lift up and shoot, like a minigun. I know the movies look cool, and Trevor Phillips does look pretty badass holding a minigun, but in reality, you really can't, because you got to have a battery for the minigun, and I have seen one person do it. That person is very, very, very strong, but you had to be that person strong in order to actually use one of those in the battlefield, not mounted. And then finally, here's some weapon diagrams I found from the Encyclopedia of Britannica Incorporated. So we got, this is again the breech loader. You expose the breech, you put the single round in there, you close the breech, and then you can fire it. Automatic firearms, how it works is once you load the bullets in there through the magazine clip, the gases from it allow it to actually cycle each round. while at the same time recocking the gun. Same goes with semi-automatic, although it actually bleeds the gas more than what this does. So this uses the gas and the recoil, or just the recoil, to cycle the ammunition so fast. And then the repeating rifles, which are also lever action, you load them through the bottom, just like a Henry model 22 Magnum revolver or HMR, or not revolver, a rifle. And basically, the lever lifts it up just like the elevator does in a pump-action shotgun, except with the pump, you got a lever, and it'll carefully load it into the breech and allow you to fire it. So that is also a single-shot weapon, because you can only fire off one round at a time. So there you go. Heavy machine guns, light machine guns, revolvers, breech loaders, assault rifles, semi-automatic tactical rifles, burstfire, semi, pump, bolt, and muzzle. These are just some very common different types of weapons you would actually see in video games, movies, or might actually own. Again, this one, I cannot stress this enough. Assault rifles are a rifle that can switch between more than one firing mode, excluding safety, because safety is not a firing mode, it's safety. So semi to burst, or semi to fully automatic, or semi burst and fully automatic, that would classify as a assault rifle. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and leave comments, and as always, have a nice day. Live, love, and game on.